Hello New Albany Country Club, and hello to all my penguins out there. I hope you're ready for your next dryland workout. I know I'm excited for it. Hopefully we're going to be doing some exercises that you've never done before. I'm excited for that. Make sure you grab your water bottle. You got plenty of space. Hopefully it's nice weather that you could possibly go out on your porch or somewhere nice. Just make sure you have plenty of arm movement. A reminder again, make sure you have someone there to watch you. Everybody's staying safe, parent or guardian or whoever it might be, just making sure you're doing proper technique through these movements and everybody's staying safe. So just make sure you have someone there with you. Today we're going to be doing 4 exercises, and the 4 exercises we're doing today are mummy kicks, tricep push-ups, lunge or lunge with a pulse, and normal planks or Spider-Man planks. And I'm going to be explaining each one of these. I'm going to be explaining the variations of it depending on how challenging you want it to be. So don't worry if you don't know what those are, that's totally fine. Make sure you got your water bottle, your partner, your cleared out space, and let's get into these exercises. All right, so the first exercise we're going to be doing is kind of like a warm-up exercise. Hopefully by this time you're already warmed up just a little bit before starting an exercise, but this first exercise we're going to be doing, like I said, is get that heartbeat going, get that blood flowing, getting ready for the workout. And the exercise is called mummy kicks. So mummy kicks are great for warming up our shoulders and our legs at the same time. They might look a little funny when you do it, but that's okay. It's a great warm-up, something different, hopefully. What you're gonna be doing is just standing nice and relaxed, and you're gonna start to hold your hands out in front of you, kind of like in a straight fashion, almost like you're a mummy, right? So that's where the name comes, like you're a mummy. And what you're gonna try to do is not quite jog, but you're going to pick your feet up almost like you're kicking off a sandal, right? And what you're going to be doing with your arms is you're going to be moving your arms in a crisscross fashion. So this is great for warming up your shoulders. This is great for getting that blood flowing. Just make sure you keep those shoulders nice and straight, kick those feet out. And for this one, you can do 20 or 40 of those, depending on how hard you want it to be, or about 20 to 30 seconds. So just make sure you're doing a good job of getting warmed up. Don't skip any of the reps, don't skip any of the times. This is just meant to get that blood flowing, get us into it and ready to go. So our next exercise we're going to be doing are tricep push-ups. Now tricep push-ups can be a little bit challenging, but don't worry, I'll explain how to do this. Tricep workouts are really important for swimming in general, right? So when you're swimming, especially butterfly, freestyle, and backstroke, usually that last little bit of the stroke, that last finish, you're going to be pushing with the tricep. It'll push you into each stroke, push you into your breath. So it's really important to make sure that tricep is strong, it's conditioned and ready to go. So that's what these tricep push-ups are designed to do. So the first tricep push-up we're going to be doing is a tricep push-up on our knees. So it's kind of like doing a standard push-up on your knees, but the difference is what you're going to be doing is you're going to move those hands slightly in. So a normal push-up is you'll have your hands to the side, a little bit outside your shoulder, but for a tricep push-up, you're going to move those hands in. You can kind of see me here on the mat where it almost looks like I make a triangle on the mat. So I have that triangle there as a guide to let me know I want my hands a little either at my shoulders or a little bit inside my shoulder distance. And all you're going to be doing is making sure you have that weight on your chest. So we want those hips a little bit past our knees, and you're just going to go down into a standard push-up like fashion, staying nice and controlled and back up. You should really feel it in your triceps for this exercise. Now the more challenging exercise or version for this is going to be kind of like in a push-up position. Just like the exercise where you have your knees on the mat, your hands are going to be inside your shoulder width, not quite in a triangle position, but those hands just inside the shoulder width when you do that push-up, or inside the shoulder width when you do that push-up. Make sure those elbows don't fray out. They stay pretty close to your body when you go down into your push-up and back up. For that exercise, we'll probably want to do maybe 5 or 10, depending on how challenging you want it to be. Just make sure you're staying controlled all the way through and you're not letting those hips go too low or too high. Now our next exercise we're going to be doing is a lunge. Now it's not quite a standard lunge. What I'm going to be adding in this lunge is before you reach out for your step, you're going to raise your leg up and then take your step. The purpose of this is just to work on our balance a little bit, because balance is really important to swimming, and we want to make sure we're working on that control, that balance, that core strength. So when you go into your lunge, you're going to take that leg, we're going to raise it up and then step forward. When you step forward, you want to make sure that your foot isn't behind your knee. So when you go into your lunge, you don't want that knee to go in front of your toes. When you go into that lunge, you want that shin to be almost straight up and down. We don't want that knee to go over the leg. Just a standard lunge. Once you go down, you don't have to let your knee touch the ground, but once you go down and come back up, you just push with that leg that's out and stand back up, ready for the next lunge. Now, if you want to make this a little bit more challenging, what you can do is when you go out for your lunge, just like I just explained, instead of going down and coming right back up, what you're going to be doing is a lunge with a pulse. So when you step out and you go into your lunge, you're going to be doing 2 to 3 pulses. And when you do your pulse, you're going to try the best you can to go straight up and straight down. We don't want that chest to go forward. We don't want to lean too far back. We want to try to maintain a really tight core all the way through. So when you do your pulses, think about just going straight down and straight up. Don't go too far forward and don't go too far back. After you do your 2 or 3 pulses, you're just going to push with that front leg and then stand right back up, ready to go again. For this exercise, you might want to do 5 or 10 on either leg, depending on how challenging you want it to be. But that is our lunge, or standard lunge, or the lunge with the pulse. So our final workout, what we're going to be doing is one of my favorite planks, and it's called the Spider-Man plank. So for the Spider-Man plank, you're going to be in a standard plank position with your hands on the mat, hips not too low, hips not too high, good tight core. But the reason why we call it Spider-Man planks is because you're going to be taking your knee and raising it up to your elbow. So you take that right knee to the right elbow, left knee to the left elbow. And it's almost like a side crunch, what you're going to be doing here. And make sure, it's really important, it's great for your side, but make sure that you're not leaning to either side. You're keeping that core nice and tight. You're not dipping to the right or to the left. This is just as much working on balance as it is on our core. So make sure you keep that core nice and steady all the way through. We're going to be doing, like I said, a crunch. For this, you might want to do 5 or 10 on either side, depending on how challenging you want it to be. If balancing and this exercise is a little too advanced, that's okay. What you can do is just a standard plank, either on your hands or on your forearms. That's totally fine, and you can do that for 20 or 30 seconds. Just make sure when you do the Spider-Man plank, so you keep that core tight, you're not leaning to either side, and you're staying controlled all the way through. All right, so that's today's exercise. We have those 4 exercises. We have mummy kicks, and we're gonna be doing 20 to 40 of those. We have our tricep push-ups. We're gonna be doing 5 to 10 of those. We have our forward lunges, which are 5 to 10 on either side, and planks. Now, if you're gonna do normal planks, 30 seconds. If you're gonna do the Spider-Man planks, we're gonna do 5 to 10 on either side. I gave you some variations so you can decide how challenging you want it to be. If you just wanna go through the workout once through, that's totally fine. If you wanna add a little bit of an extra challenge, or you're in an older age group, you can go through it maybe 2 or 3 times. Just remember to stay really safe, have plenty of room, have a partner there with you to make sure you're doing proper technique and everybody's doing these exercises correctly. I hope you're excited for today's dry land. I can't wait to talk to you again, Penguins and New Albany Country Club. I'll see you again in the next video.